Good evening team, welcome back to the workshop. Today we're going to start on the restoration process of these set of drawers that we got a little while ago. Previously we have actually filled in all the little grooves and gaps and cracks and everything on the side with a bit of wood putty, and now they did have these silly handles that were kind of recessed in. So what we're going to do, I think, on this episode is we're probably going to grab them both and we're going to fill them in, so then we can actually put some nicer ones in there instead of what was in there to begin with. So first of all, what we're going to do, we're just going to grab a little bit of ply. We don't exactly want to just completely fill it with wood glue or a putty of some sort, so we'll just fill it up with a little bit of ply first. So we'll just cut a little bit, get it glued in there, and then we'll just putty around the rest of it. At least then it's not completely filled up with glue. So we'll quickly just do a couple of measurements on here and kind of see where we need to cut them to get them to fit in nice. So we're going to have to get a wood chisel just to get all this stuff out first, because whether it stays in there or not, I don't know if it'll fall out eventually. So we want to make it so then no matter what happens, it's never going to fall out. So we'll just we just got a little mark on there, so we'll just give that a little cut. Just get the handsaw, quickly just handsaw that off. We're going to go a little bit before the line because I don't know if we want to. What do we got? I'm guessing about there. We'll cut one quickly off and then we'll have a look at the others, and if it's okay then we'll just cut them all the same size. We're not going to spend too much time on this because at the end of it all, it is actually going to be completely covered up anyway. So we'll just cut a few more of them, and then yeah, we'll just kick into starting to sand and get everything all finished up with the sanding, and then we can finally get into the cool stuff by actually making these things look nice. My wife has actually chosen out a fair few colours that we're going to colour schemes for them that are really, really modern and nice. So we'll you guys will check that out a little bit later on anyway. Now, to be honest, I've never actually restored any wood or anything in the past, so it is my first time doing this. But I do know a lot about how to do things, so we'll just see how we go and stumble along with it. We will actually completely sand down and get everything all looking beautiful anyway, so it's not going to really matter how these look to begin with. I just didn't really want to completely fill the gap with the wood putty and everything. So yeah, see, so that's looking pretty good now. So we'll get all them glued in there. Now let's see if I can find my wood putty. Right, here we go. So this is just the stuff we're going to use here. It is literally just a filler. So it'll actually fill all the gaps and everything beautifully. Now, I do recommend though, if you are going to stain or use anything like that, I don't recommend using this sort of stuff, because this stuff is good when it comes to a paint finish afterwards, but with the stain and everything, you wouldn't get the desired look of a finished product, because the stain would never really go the same color as what the wood would. So when you actually do something like that, always just remember that a stain will stain different materials, different colors. So always make sure you have a look into what you're actually going to do first, and then the products that you use, because yeah, you wouldn't want to fill it with this stuff and then try and stain it, because yeah, the finish where you're putting the filler in would be totally different to the finish that's on the actual wood. Just get a little bit on the bottom of these just to get it to stick. And as you can tell, once it sits in there, it is going to be a little bit proud, but that's good, because we don't need it to completely hide in there, because we are going to completely block and sand everything down afterwards anyway. Just see if I can find, I might use one of my big screwdrivers to try and just get the rest of that stuff there out. So when we broke the other stuff off, it didn't completely come out of some of them. I don't think it's going to actually, we'll measure it up, and I don't think it's going to really matter actually. Oh, a fair bit to stand, so we'll try and remove a lot of that stuff as well. So yeah, this was the old handles that's still stuck in there. Just when we removed it, some of it removed nicely and some didn't. Now this one here is probably going to be a few episodes long. There is actually a lot to try and do, but we'll just continue it on and see how far we get all of them. I don't like to put too long videos up. We don't want to just babble on and we start losing focus about what's going on. So we'll just yeah, we'll just see how it goes and see how far we get. Just get that one there out of there as well. What we might do, we'll probably get in this episode, I want to at least get to the point that all of the holes are filled, and then we can just wait to sand them all down. So I'll get all the filler and everything on the backs of these, and then we'll come back later on once they're all dry, and then start doing our rough sand, and then we'll do a final sand on them as well, and then we'll probably look into starting to get some colours on them. So as I say, my wife has actually chosen out some really nice, beautiful modern colours anyway, that once they've all been covered over and painted, they're going to look absolutely beautiful. But I suppose one stage at a time. We do have a job coming up shortly, but I'm not sure where it's going to fit in with all of this stuff at the moment. So we do have a Ford that's got a transmission cooler problem. So I'm just in the process now of trying to get time to go and grab it and bring it out home to get into that one there. So I'll definitely bring you guys along for the ride when we grab that as well. Sweet. So with those ones there, the ones that did stick out, they did protrude out a lot further than what the other ones did that completely came out properly, but we can just deal with all that. There's nothing too major. So what we might do now, we'll fill the sides and just get it filled up completely. At least then the handles can go ahead and start to dry. Well, great. I might bog it in there first with hand, and then we'll go along with the scraper afterwards to just smooth it out. But yeah, once the stuff dries, there ain't no way that any of that will be coming out or moving or anything. But at the moment, once we get it all nice and smooth, it will be ready to go. Also, if there is also any helpful handy hints or tips on what you think I could be doing with these things here as well, with everything that we are looking at doing, just please comment down below, because as I say, I haven't done it before, but I know what I know, so everything will turn out okay. But if there is any other better ideas or anything, then please leave a comment about it. It's always nice to read some feedback or some helpful handy hints and tips about how things can be done, or what even other people have done as well, which if you've done it before, then it definitely makes it easier. So yeah, this permafiller, it doesn't take that long to dry actually. Within a few hours it's actually almost ready to start sanding back. But in our hot garage that we've got, it wouldn't surprise me if it was done earlier. But we'll definitely, once we've got everything filled, then we will just come out and keep checking on it and see where it's at. Beautiful. I know this the scraper is a lot easier. It is sometimes a lot easier to spread things out, but on the other hand, sometimes it's easier just to get your hands in there and push it into the grooves. As I say, all I'm worried about at the moment is just getting it on there. I'm not too fussed about how it looks or anything at the moment. We just need to have more on there than what we need, because I'd hate for it to be shallower than the top of it, because then we'd have to go along and sand it down and then put more on. So we always want to try and put more on than what we really need. At least then we know that when we sand down to the bottom of it, then we're going to be able to get it nice and flat. There we go. I might just carry on with the hand with that. Sorry, that's if you guys can actually see. I'm bending and moving and twisting so much that sometimes the camera misses where I want it to be. Helps if you guys can actually see. Right, that's looking better. Beautiful. We're going to sand all that stuff off later on anyway. Cool. So what I'll do is I'll just I just want to quickly grab a little bit of this is just 240 grit, so it's pretty fine stuff, but we don't want to use too harsh stuff on it, because we don't want to go too far down with anything, especially this stuff here, because once you do take it a little bit too far, then you can go way below than what you're meant to. So we just want to, or else we might find ourselves having to fill even more stuff. See it. I do have an orbital that we can get into to make the job a lot faster. But as I say, all we want to do is really give it a nice scuff up and get it ready for paint afterwards. So I do want to try and actually, I'm not sure if you can actually see the angle of that, but it's actually quite sharp. As drawers are, they always have a sharp edge. But I actually find that if you do actually angle the edge off a little bit, it does have a bit of a nicer look. So I don't want to completely have a square edge on the drawers. So we'll just angle it and round off just a little bit, you know, so it just takes off that square edge, and it just makes it look a lot nicer once we've actually got some paint on there. But once we do actually get all of them sanded down, so what I'll do is once the patch jobs are actually dry, and then I'll get the orbital out to get rid of a lot of this big stuff, because hand sanding that would take a long time. So, but what we might do is we might just leave it there for now, and we'll wait until that stuff dries. So it shouldn't be too long, maybe a couple of hours, but in the YouTube world it will almost be instantaneous. But yeah, so we'll wait for that to dry, and then we'll kick back into it later on. Cheers guys, see you soon. Hi guys, welcome back. Told you it wouldn't be too long, but I decided while the other drawers were actually drying, what we might do is that we'll get started on the main body side. So what we'll do, we'll just take a bit of sandpaper, find a block, and as I say, we're not going to completely sand this one all the way down. All that we want to do now is just get rid of all our filler, get it all nice and smooth, and then I want to definitely just round the edges off just a little bit. I think a really nice rounded edge just looks so nice. So what we'll do is that we'll just have a good go at getting everything and all the surfaces all prepped up, so then when those drawers are finished, then we can go ahead and start the painting process. So I hope the sanding's not going to be too loud. Well, by hand it probably won't be, but when we start getting the orbital out, then it may start being a bit loud, so we'll get through it. See, it never takes much to get down to where we need to. For this stuff here, we just need to really take that varnish off, so then the new paint will adhere to it really nicely. Hope that you guys can see up there. It's kind of hard for you to tell me otherwise. And that's about all it takes. It doesn't take much to get her smooth. So this is the 240. I'm definitely going to go a lot lighter on it when we are getting ready to throw paint at it. So I have just found that the joins are starting to come out a little bit on that one there. So what we'll do is, before we finish sanding off and everything, we'll definitely get all that glued down and looking nice. That's the last thing we want, is to do everything and then leave one little piece that still lifts up. That feels much better. Oh, still a little bit rough in some places. So we're still not too sure what we're going to actually do with all these pieces of furniture once we're finished restoring them yet, though we'll probably stick around home for a little while. We are just trying to make it into more of a hobby than anything else, so we don't ever expect to sell them or make money off them or anything, but it is just something nice to carry with time. Still a big lumpy bit there. That's way better. See, so now this stuff here has actually been drying for, it must be a good 4 or 5 days now, and you know when it's really nice and dry because it just sands off beautifully. As I was saying earlier, I want to try and get some nice rounded edges, so just cut that edge a little bit with the block, and we'll just sand a nice beveled edge on it to make it look nice. Much better. Beautiful. We're definitely going to try and do something on the inside. We're not going to go too crazy though, because the drawers will always cover everything anyway, but it is quite nice to have at least a single colour or something on the inside. At least then if the drawers are ever taken out, they do look quite nice, where if you open up your drawers at home, you'll see that they're never ever really painted in there. People see it as a waste of time, I suppose, but if you ever do open up your drawers, then it is quite nice to see that little bit of colour. So there is a lot of work to do. Even with one set of drawers, it can take so long just to get everything nice, and of course the more pedantic you are about it, the better they'll always turn out. So always is a good thing to try and take your time and get everything looking nice. As I said earlier, I'm not too worried about all the scratch marks at the moment, because we are actually going to go down another grit of sandpaper before we do anything anyway, so not too worried about it. So once we get it down to where we need to, then I will change to the finer grit, and then that'll be our final look before we go ahead and put some colour down. Now I know these sets of drawers are old, but I have a really good feeling that by the time we finish them up, they're definitely going to have a different look on life, and they'll definitely make a difference somewhere. That's if we ever sell them, but they'll definitely look a lot nicer than what they are now. It's quite sad, there's a lot of old furniture out there that people just seem to think it's done, and they'll either throw it away or they'll put it out back or in a shed somewhere, and that's where it'll sit for the rest of eternity. So hopefully after a fair few videos and everything, people will look at them a little bit different and start to change their mind on the older stuff. A lot of the older stuff is beautiful to work with. This set isn't too old at all, but it still will come up absolutely beautiful afterwards. Alrighty, well, what I might do is I might just finish off a little bit more playing around with this thing here, try and get it a little bit smoother, get all of our putty off from what we put on last week, and then we'll jump back on and we'll bring you back once most of it's all sanded. So once again, thank you guys for watching. Do like and subscribe if this is the sort of thing that you do enjoy watching. Just remember, we don't always do furniture, well, they pull it upcycling, as they call it. So we do love working on a lot of the automotive side too. And as I say, we do have a job coming up shortly with the transmission cooler that we are going to have a look at. But until then, yeah, we'll just continue playing with these sets of drawers. But thanks guys, like, subscribe, comment, smash that bell button so you know when we put up another video, and we'll see you next time. Cheers, bye.